What's going on in the Loop fans? It's Drew here, and I got something interesting and a little different to talk to you guys about. So we got a survey from Six Flags. If you're a pass holder, you get these quite often. But I just find them interesting enough, and I know we talk about them on the podcast. But for those that aren't Six Flags pass holders, I guess you guys might appreciate what we see in the survey. Now, some of these things end up never coming true, but just the other day I got a survey about different types of passes that Six Flags might be offering, and then suddenly they rolled out a new type of membership pass that actually was talked about in the survey. So I find it interesting that maybe some of this stuff might come true, maybe it won't, but it'll give you guys a little bit of insight of what the creators at Six Flags are thinking about for the 2019, 2020, 2021 seasons, like the future of Six Flags, what they're thinking about. So without further ado, let's check out the survey and see what kind of things we got. So this guy right here is a heroes and villains survey. They are looking at developing some new attractions for the parks, and we would like to get some feedback about your favorite comic book heroes and villains. The survey is short, and your feedback is important to us. Could win tickets, which while I'm a pass holder, I don't necessarily need to win tickets for myself. That would be helpful for, say, like a wife or family, friends, or something like that want to go. So let's come on in and take the survey. Coming up to the next slide, and we got some instructions. The thing I found most interesting about this is they said that they're going to have us talk about both Marvel and DC superheroes. Now, I don't really know how this works, but with Disney owning Marvel and Universal having the Marvel contract, I don't really see Six Flags ever going to be able to put Marvel attractions in their theme park. Also, from like a synergy point of view, that makes no sense. You got all the DC guys, and then suddenly you now have a Thor ride. I don't see that as a thing, but that's what the survey said. They were going to tell us about Marvel and DC superheroes. Now, I got to admit, I'm really not a superhero guy. I know very little about them. If you don't have a ride already at a Six Flags or Universal park, chances are I've never really heard of you. So, that being said, I have to rank if I like them or how I know about them coming up. Alright, so this is what the survey kind of looks like. You got Killer Croc, Deathstroke, Starfire, Black Adam, Doomsday, Nightwing, Green Goblin, Cyborg, Superman, and Enchantress. And you got to click whether you have heard of them, vaguely aware, or never heard of them. Now, me here, I've heard of Killer Croc. I have no idea where I've heard of Killer Croc. Deathstroke, never heard of. Starfire, never heard of. Black Adam, never heard of. Doomsday, heard of. Nightwing, vaguely aware. Green Goblin, vaguely aware. Cyborg, heard of. Superman, heard of. And Enchantress, never heard of. I'm sure some of you are home are like, how have you never heard of this person? Or what? I can't believe you've never heard of this superhero. That's my boy. That's my favorite. Well, unfortunately, I have not. And Six Flags doesn't seem like they're going to ask me questions about the ones that I've never heard of. Alright, first up is Killer Croc. And they want to know if I love the character, like the character, character's okay, no opinion, dislike the character. Well, I don't really know about Killer Croc, I've just heard it. Sounds like an angry alligator, pretty cool meet and greet maybe. So I don't know. No opinion on the character, but it's definitely a great idea for a ride. Six Flags Over Georgia has an alligator in their One Dark ride already, so I figured, Killer Croc sounds like it could be a great idea for an addition to Six Flags. So I wrote, great idea. So then the next question you get is, what kind of attraction would a Killer Croc attraction be? Be like kiddie ride, a dark ride, indoor-based ride with audio-guided vehicles, or auto-guided vehicles, that's cool. A drop tower, a spinning ride, a train, virtual reality roller coaster, so like a regular roller coaster with VR on it. Roller coaster, bumper cars, water ride, motion simulator film. Huh. Alright, so I gotta say, it could be any of those, but it's Six Flags, so what do I really want? That's right, I went with roller coaster because, well, I really want a roller coaster. It's pretty much the only thing I actually really want Six Flags to build, but I know they have to build other attractions, as you'll see further on in this survey. But roller coaster it is, Killer Croc roller coaster, that'd be kind of cool, I guess. I don't really know. Maybe. We'll see. Next up is Doomsday, which, once again, I don't really know a whole lot about Doomsday. I've heard of him. So I have no opinion on how I would rate Doomsday as a character. But of course, I think it'd be a great idea for a new ride at Six Flags. That seems like the Six Flags thing. Let's take a character and let's build a ride based on them. And all the ride's going to have is some cardboard cutouts or signs that look just like the character, and a new name and painted to be the color of that character. So Doomsday seems like a great idea for a new ride, so I support that one as well. Now the big question is, how would a Doomsday roller coaster or Doomsday ride fit into the Six Flags ride lineup? And I was like, God, it's going to fit extremely well, since that's most of their rides now is a themed ride to a superhero where they just put a name on it. So it'd be like Doomsday the ride, or Doomsday Chaos Coaster, something like that. So I could totally see this being a thing. So I said it would fit extremely well. Now, next up is the Green Goblin, which, I could be really wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure the Green Goblin is the villain in Spider-Man. Maybe? I think so. I think I've ridden that in the Spider-Man ride at Universal, and so I think the Green Goblin's from that. So really, this wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But the character is okay. Do I think it's a great ride for Six Flags Over Georgia? Absolutely, it's a great ride for Six Flags Over Georgia. Can you imagine that? They randomly had a Marvel character in that park lineup, and knowing Six Flags would be right there, like next to Superman, so it would be like in the same fucking area as a DC character. That would be hilarious. So, me being me, I told them exactly what I thought. I think that would fit well. I definitely think it would fit well. You could put it, you could redo the Great American Scream Machine and have that the Green Goblin roller coaster and put it right next to Superman. And oh man, that would make so much sense thematically. So yeah, I said that would make sense. Alright, next up we got Cyborg. And I do know Cyborg is a DC character. I've only heard of him because Six Flags Great Adventure. Is it Great Adventure? Great Adventure is getting the... yes, it is Great Adventure. I'm positive on this now that I've talked myself up to it. Is getting the Cyborg Tribulin ride. So I really want this at Six Flags Over Georgia. So hell yeah, this fits extremely well. I want an exact replica clone of that. That would go perfect. Six Flags Over Georgia being my home Six Flags park. I mean, it's still 8 hours away, but I want that. So I said this ride's going to fit extremely well. But now this is where I guess I either got bored or decided I was no longer going to be as helpful to Six Flags as I should be. I figured Cyborg is like this robotic metal-looking guy, so the only thing that made sense to me was a water ride. Cyborg Splashdown, or something like that. Maybe. Who knows? To be honest, I think you're going to see the Tribulin clones be put around a couple of places, especially if they have uptime and they don't go down a lot over Texas and Great America. But neither way, I said I wanted a water ride. Alright, next up is Superman. And Six Flags wants to know, what do we think about the Superman character? Which I gotta admit, I'm well aware Superman exists. I think everybody knows Superman exists as a character. You can also talk to any person of the general public and be like, have you been on Superman at Six Flags? And chances are they have, because every Six Flags park has a Superman for the most part. Does every Six Flags have a Superman? I don't know. Someone tell me if there's not one. If there is a Six Flags without a Superman ride of any sort of type, I don't know. That's kind of weird. So maybe they're catering to them? I don't know. But I answered that I didn't really like the Superman character and I thought it was a terrible idea. Why did I think it was a terrible idea? Oh, let me read you my caption here. You have 2 Superman rides already, one in your new kids area for 2016 and a flying roller coaster. Can you imagine if Six Flags puts in a 3rd Superman ride? That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I said this was a terrible idea, shouldn't go with that. Now there might be other parks that only have 1 Superman ride, so they could probably get away with a 2nd Superman ride, especially if it's in your kids section. I mean, we are talking about Six Flags Over Georgia here, which markets 2 different Joker coasters. They've got the Joker Kids coaster and they have the Larson Looper. So maybe a 3rd Superman is not completely out of the realm of possibilities. I don't really know, but I thought it was a bad idea, so I said no. So then Six Flags wants to know, what kind of ride do I think Superman is? Bumper cars, roller coaster, train, water ride, dark ride, motion simulator film, virtual reality roller coaster, drop tower, spinning ride, kiddie ride. Just thinking about it, well, there are kiddie ride Superman rides. They definitely have roller coasters. They definitely did the VR on them. A dark ride Justice League, it has Superman in it. So, it totally could have been almost any of them. Kids rides, Spinning ride, I don't know of any Superman spinning ride right now, but you know, I could totally imagine a Superman spinning ride. So really, all of those except for water ride or train ride are completely out of the possibilities. Everything else, it could be. And honestly, Six Flags got rid of their bumper cars, so you never know. Over Georgia, maybe could do Superman bumper cars. Up next, I had to answer, who do I think are part of the Teen Titans? And I had no fucking idea who the answer to this one was. I couldn't tell you who were Teen Titans, who were anything else. So I just kind of picked characters that sounded kind of lame to me. Because Teen Titans sounds very unenergetic. They sound kind of lazy. They sort of sound like millennials or something like that. So I was just like, yeah, you know, just ones that had dumb names. Tried to pick it there. I think I selected I don't know also during that category, just because I didn't really know. So this to me was the most interesting part of this Six Flags survey. They want to talk about an interactive glow-in-the-dark dark ride called the Space Odyssey. Basically, you're going to go on your own spaceship with your friends in a van, and you're going to explore an alien life form world, and you're going to get to shoot with guns. It's thrilling sounds, and sometimes what you can't be seen is even scarier than what you can see. The fate of the world depends on you. So it sounds like this really cool shooting interactive dark ride. I don't know if this is something that they're going to think about putting in at Fiesta Texas, because Fiesta Texas is getting a new dark ride, or if this is a whole new concept that nobody really knows about. Maybe they're planning on putting this somewhere else. But I thought this was a great idea. One, whoa, Six Flags coming up with their own IP idea, like something that they're creating their own rather than buying or borrowing an IP from somebody else. I thought that was awesome. So it totally supported this idea. And so they said, what kind of comments do you have about this? And I go, love the idea of dark rides, especially with the cold temps and Holiday in the Park events. I mean, with Holiday in the Park, and this year we had record low temperatures for some of the parks like Six Flags St. Louis and Great Adventure, and the event is expanded. So now you have Six Flags New England and Six Flags American. So really cold weather temperatures have these events. You need some indoor attractions for people to do. And this sounds like a cool idea that you could bring them on board with. So I totally support the idea of a indoor dark ride coming to Six Flags. And I don't really know why anyone wouldn't. And so then they want to know about what age group I think Space Odyssey would appeal to the most. And I put 7 to 11-year-olds. Not necessarily 7 to 11-year-olds are the only ones that would care about this, but I sort of figured it's the dark ride, it's the low height requirement, so the 7-year-old is somebody that you're going to want to be able to make sure they get on that ride. If you didn't cater to the 7-year-old, then, you know, if it was 18 plus, it would not work out. 12 to 14, yeah. So 7 to 11 I thought seemed to be like the right answer for that. It was more of me doing a guessing game than what I actually wanted. And would the Space Odyssey be something new for Six Flags Over Georgia, or just more of the same? And I said this would be something new for the park, as, hey, we don't have a Space Odyssey. It's not like building a third Superman attraction or something like that, or, you know, doing Over Texas and naming their new ride the same name as a ride that was renamed earlier the previous season. So I said it was something new, and I thought that would be pretty sweet. Now this one was kind of awkward. Which of the following words would you choose to describe the Space Odyssey? And I had a whole bunch of different ones to choose here. I went amazing, high energy, and magical. I only put magical because it's totally rip-off of Disney with the idea of a magical experience or something like that, which is why I put magical. But honestly, it seemed like a great addition, and so I really like the idea of a new dark ride that maybe we never heard of. So it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of years if we see like a Space Odyssey type ride. It might have a different name. It might turn into something completely different. But the thing that I thought was really neat is the fact that Six Flags is thinking about going no IP and dark ride. So a dark ride based on something that they have created themselves, which is not something we've seen in a long time from Six Flags. That's for sure. All right, and finally here, our last question on the survey was, which of the following movies do you plan to see, you already saw, or do not want to go see? I got to admit, I don't really go see the movies. If you listen to our podcast, you'll see I don't really go to the movies all that often. It has nothing to do with anything. I just like, you know, going to Europe, going to Six Flags, going to explore the world. So movie theaters, as they're getting more and more expensive. Although Movie Pass sounds like a really good deal. I might have to look into that. I really didn't care to see any of them, and honestly, I don't care about the whole superhero kind of things and stuff. So I don't think I'll go see it. I might see Deadpool too, because Deadpool 1 was pretty funny. But that is neither here nor there, so I told them I wouldn't see all of them. But thanks for watching this video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing maybe a future of Six Flags and where the company is going. If you liked this video, feel free to let us know if you want me to do another one of these Six Flags surveys, because they come out probably twice a month or so. You get a Six Flags survey and you take it, and you know, sometimes things come true and sometimes they don't. So if you liked what you saw and you liked our coverage of this, let us know. If not, and I guess we'll never do one again, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try something new. But thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at DrewTheIntern. You can comment on this video. You can comment on Twitter. Tweet me all your different thoughts. I usually respond better on Twitter because that notification comes right to my phone so I can respond. But if not, we will see you guys on the midway.